rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. And welcome to the premiere Knicks content show. Right? Y'all know who I am, the number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe. And I'm here to talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Just want to say real quick, pardon the absence for a couple of days. Needed those days for personal reasons, but we are back, baby. We are back starting on a Friday, living for the weekend. Right? All right. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about and a lot of time to talk about it. So I guess we should get to it. Salute to everyone watching us on X. Salute to everyone watching us on YouTube, and soon to be a lot of other social media platforms that we'll incorporate as the days in these upcoming days. So just want to start our conversation with you guys, for the most part, are hungry for a better Knicks showing on a nightly basis, for the trade that soon come, get it over with, right? If there's a trade, get it over with. You are hungry for the fixes for our offense and defense. Keith Turner's in the building. End the game is in the building. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. So you guys are hungry for a lot of things, and you can bring it. Just put it right. Thank you. All right. NBA Economy Show is in the building. Salute. So you guys are hungry for a lot of things, and over the past couple of days, I thought about those things, and I think I may have some solutions to those things. Right? As I think about this, I don't want to rehash like old stuff. Like I don't want to talk about the same thing everyone else is talking about, because if you've heard it there, that should be good enough. So I'm just gonna rock with original, untainted thoughts, right? And some original ideas, right? Let me see here. I'm working on a thing here. I want to show you a style. Where is it? There it is. Okay. This is what I was looking for. I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to get started in this conversation. So There it is. The number one Chief Rocker. Okay. All right. All right. So here we are, right? I'm gonna start with a few topics. These are original thoughts. These are mine, right? I'm gonna share this with you. You tell me what you think, right? You tell me what you think. Knicks Nation is in the building, and Fritz Alcindor is in the building. Also, salute. Salute. One of the first things I thought about was this. Is the organization as a whole, is the owner, is the front office, is the coaching staff, are the players, are the fans all overvaluing what continuity means when building a championship? Right? Are we overvaluing continuity? Right? Is there such a thing? Is there such a thing of just get the most talented players and let them decide it? Right? And this is not one of those questions that you can bleed into the middle, like, hey man, it's a little of both. That's the weak out to that question. Right? I find in life that people dodge questions by staying in the middle. If you they feel as if you stay in the middle and don't choose a side, then you can be right all the time. And this, right? I'm going to pose this as this. I asked the question to myself out loud with the thought that I'm not going to stay in the middle in a nice, safe place on this question, right? To not offend. Franks is in the building. Ronnie is in the building. Salute. Are the Knicks overvaluing continuity? Josh, Jaylen, Mikal Bridges, Deuce, Mitch to a certain extent, Cat, OG, the new guys, to a certain extent. Keeping most of Tom Thibodeau's coaching staff to a certain extent. Do we value continuity over talent? Or are the Knicks as an organization overvaluing continuity? Right? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say yes. The Knicks are overvaluing continuity. In real life, you kind of want to put the most talented people in place in order to achieve certain goals, because there are certain things that you can get continuity from anywhere. You cannot get great Hall of Fame generational talent from anywhere. Right? You just can't. Right? Like, just because even over the years, like on Lawrence Tears, like it's been a lot of continuity. Like we all get along, but over the years, you just have seen certain personalities that just don't fit, right? And then talent don't want to rock because of continuity, right? It happens everywhere. It happens everywhere you go. It happens everywhere you go. Talent will be left out because of continuity in place. Right? Like certain managers like certain other managers and they like certain employees, and there'll be another talented prospect that can be had, right? And they would choose the continuity, don't rock the boat, versus adding an exceptional talent. David Smith is in the building. LI1 is in the building. Salute. In this case, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. It's as easy as how some of the fan base feel like, let's not trade for Giannis to not rock the boat. Or let's not try to bring in Ben Simmons because Landry Shamet is liked by the fan base. Or let's not consider trading for Ja Morant because he's different from what's already here. Right? Now, mind you, I've told everybody for years, I believe the answers are in-house. So when I say I don't want to trade for Giannis, it's not because I don't feel like Giannis is an exceptional talent. It's because I feel like the answer to what ails us is already in-house. Right? But at the same time, Knicks fans hear terms like Nova Boys. Nova Boys. The Knicks fans hear terms like, well, they won championships in college. Right? Not thinking that, man, that's 10 years ago. And these guys have been in the NBA for 7, 8, 9 years, and they still haven't won a championship. So clearly, winning in college is an animal, but winning in the NBA is a different animal. But here's the thing with continuity. You get confidence in doing things repetitively. Right? You get confidence in doing things repetitively. Right? If you do a thing repetitively and you get a desired result from that, if you do a thing over and over and you start to get good at that thing you do over and over, you get confidence. So continuity brings confidence, right? Because you get confidence from doing things repetitively, and continuity goes into that, right? Why rock the boat when I know when I drive this way, Bridges is going to be over here doing this? Now, we may not get the result that we want all the time, but instead of fixing the movement, we'll fix Bridges. Right? Instead of fixing the play itself, we'll decide to fix the part of the play. Like the play works sometimes against some offenses, some defenses, and it doesn't work other times. But instead of fixing the play itself from a continuity standpoint, we'll fix the parts inside of the play. Right? So for instance, the Knicks may need corner threes. The Knicks may need corner threes, right? Instead of going out and acquiring a guy that's great at corner threes already, we'll ask a guy that's already here to get better at that so that we can maintain continuity. That's basically what that is. Like continuity, you will do everything to keep the framework that you're comfortable with intact. And I'll ask the chat, how comfortable are you with the continuity of this team? And there is no wrong answer. The only answer that's wrong is the answer in the middle, right? I don't know, Uncle Freezy. It could be either or. Nah, that's the wrong answer. The right answer, I would rather, if you're in the chat, I would rather you not put an answer, period, right? I would rather for you not to put an answer, period, than to put the answer in the middle. I don't know, Uncle Freezy. I don't know. It could be either or. Greenie in the building, salute. How comfortable are y'all with the current continuity? And I'll ask this to Greenie, because Greenie may have some experience with this also. Say you played for a high school coach, and your high school coach played for the same system, right, for 8 or 9 seasons, but he's never won. And this, I'm speaking about basketball. Say you never, that coach has never won the district, right? Never won the district he's in, never advanced deep into the playoffs, never won a championship, but values his system. Have any of you guys ever played for a guy like that? Where his system is more important than talent. Ribby in the building. Salute. Have you ever played for a coach, right? And you have a talent, but the coach would rather for you to subdue your talent and do what the system requires. Chat, have any of you been in that situation? I have. In high school, I had a coach that says, listen, Uncle Freezy, I know you from them kids from up on the hill. Like, I lived in Jersey City. I lived on the hill in Jersey City, right? He was like, I know them boys up the hill, from on the hill, they tough. They know how to shoot, right? Right? But we don't need that here. We need for you to dive for loose balls. We value defense, every possession. We want you diving everywhere. We want you to go home looking like you was in a fight with somebody. But I grew up on the hill, and we valued guys at my age. We valued guys like Andrew Toney and downtown Freddie Brown. We idolize guys like that. The continuity thing can be a certain thing. The continuity thing, continuity is basically a safe place, right? It's a safe place. It's like, it's predictable. People make you feel comfortable, right? You're comfortable with continuity, right? But on the other side of that, where there may not be continuity, You may have anticipatory mistakes, but you may also have explosive plays. When it comes to continuity, it's easy to say that, you need continuity in order to win championships. I'm going to say talent wins championships. I think there is some chemistry involved. You have to play together, but I would rather have talent be the top measure and continuity go with, right? As opposed to continuity be the top measure and then you add talent in that can fit what it is that you're looking to do. with that, if you are a Knicks fan, would you rather see the Knicks maintain continuity for the next year or so, grow organically, status quo in place, everybody grow in their role, get better at what they're doing, things of that sort? Or would you like to see them upgrade talent? Would you like to see them upgrade where upgrades are possible? Right? But you can't do both because you can't rock the boat a little bit. You can't rock the boat a little bit. I know there are going to be some that'll say, no, you can rock the boat a little bit. For those, we'll give them, we'll let them talk in the little kid section. I'm talking to the folks that have real dedicated opinions, right? Right now, I'm talking to those that have anchored opinions, right? That believe in what they're saying. This is for you. This whole conversation won't be for you, but this part of the conversation is for you. Because we're going to include others, but in this conversation, this part, I'm searching for the people that are thoughtful about how they feel, right? The ones that are thoughtful about how they feel, right? Would you prefer the Knicks to maintain the status quo and not do anything, or upgrade where upgrades are possible, right? The folks that believe in the front of the jersey more than what's on the back of the jersey. Are the Knicks overvaluing continuity? Right? Is it important for Jaylen Brunson and Josh Hart to play together? How important? I'll ask a question like this, and this is me. This right now, what I'm about to do is put a rock in your shoe. Right? I'm real legit gonna put a rock in your shoe. Right? Now, mind you, I'm a Knicks fan and I love the team as is, but for the sake of asking you guys questions that you have not heard, because I already know what you heard, man. Trade for oh my God, Sadiq Bey. So Sadiq Bey can come to New York and play the Yabusele minutes as the backup five. Right? Trade for Sadiq Bey so legit he can play behind Bridges, Josh Hart, and OG as the fourth wing and the third center. trade for Sadiq Bey. And if that sounds weird, it is weird. If that sounds weird, right? Sadiq Bey, the fourth wing and the third center. If that sounds weird, if you acquire him, guess what? It is weird, right? But I know people have been clamoring for us to do a trade with New Orleans. All of a sudden, the whack ass New Orleans Pelicans have a roster that we should be pillaging. Nick P in the building. College A was good. All of a sudden, Knicks fans need either their point guard or their wing players, or even Zion. I've even heard people say Zion. Right. I've been listening here lately, and for the most part, content creators are saying, hey, listen, why not trade for whoever? I have my eyes on Noah Clowney. Somebody told me they had their eyes on Noah Clowney. Right. And even though I don't want the Knicks to do a trade now or in the future, right? I feel your pain, right? But I don't want to lean into your pain. What I'd like to do is lean into new ideas, something fresh, not a new way of thinking, but new topics. Right? New topics. And mind you, I know this is a losing battle because the trade deadline is in about 2 or 3 weeks. About 2 or 3 weeks. GI in the building, salute. One of my favorite people on the planet. GI, nobody is smarter and has a smoother golf swing at the same time. I have never met someone smarter and have a smoother golf swing at the same. Oh wait, hey GI, I got to put myself in that category a little bit because I'm slightly arrogant when it comes to this sports, man. I have like this slight cockiness when it comes to sports, man. Whatever sport it is, we could be shooting pool, playing golf, playing basketball, boxing, whatever it is, football, whatever it is. I have this thing, right? But anyways. So are the Knicks overvaluing continuity? Here's the question I'm going to ask. On an NBA level, how good is Josh Hart? On an NBA level, how good of a player is Josh Hart? And if somebody puts in the chat something along the lines of team player or glue guy, that means he's less talented and more here for continuity. As soon as we start typing, oh, he's a glue guy, continuity. Man, he's a team player. He's here for the culture, continuity. Man, you got to have your superstar be comfortable, man, on that continuity. Less about talent and more about continuity. Now, am I bashing the Knicks for continuity? No, I want the Knicks to win. I absolutely love this group of guys, right? And I don't want to trade anyone, right? I don't want to trade anyone, right? But when it comes to glue guys and continuity guys, in the famous words of David Ruffin, ain't nobody came to see you, Otis. They came to see the superstars, right? If your glue guy is that guy, ain't nobody came to see you, Otis. You're a glue guy. On another team, you might barely make a rotation. Here for continuity. Continuity is important to some, and then talent is important to others. Which is important to you? Because in my experience, teams, and I mean whether it's sports teams or corporate teams or whoever, if you value continuity over talent, you're going to get what continuity brings. Consistency, safe, culture, whatever it is. But I asked the question about Josh Hart because I feel like Josh Hart is a valuable NBA player. But clearly, Josh Hart is a Knick, not for talent, but for continuity. Because Josh Hart is not 6'8". He doesn't have an explosive, verticality. He's not super fast for his size, right? He's not super agile. He's not a lockdown defender by any means. Josh Hart is Scrappy-Doo, basically. Josh Hart is Scrappy-Doo, and that's just me being honest. That's not me picking on Josh. That's me and my assessment of what this NBA player looks like. He's Scrappy-Doo, right? He's a big guy in a little guy's body. Mighty Mouse. Underdog. You name your undersized hero, and that's Josh Hart. Where our issue comes in at, though, is our best player is also Mighty Mouse. Our issue is the Knicks' best player and probably a top 10 Knicks player of all time, Jaylen Brunson, is also Mighty Mouse. But they have what they lack in physical talent, they make up for in natural, synergetic continuity. So what they lack in Anthony Edwards' physical ability, they make up for in physical talent. Randu in the building, salute. But they have a synergetic continuity that they use to make up for what other teams have in physical talent on most nights. And it's effective most nights, except for when teams find a way to pick at a scab, so to speak, and there is no answer to fixing the problem except talent. And so I asked about Josh, and now I'm going to ask the same question about Jaylen Brunson. How good of an NBA player is Jaylen Brunson? Right? And this is not me saying he's bad or he's the GOAT. This is me asking a question straight down the middle to get your opinion. How good of an NBA player is Jaylen Brunson? How talented of a player is Jaylen Brunson? This is not, if Jaylen Brunson played for any other of the 29 teams, would Jaylen Brunson be this? Would Jaylen Brunson be Simba? Because in my eyes, anytime y'all say something about Jaylen Brunson, I want to put my. Anytime y'all say something about Jaylen Brunson, I legit want to. To me, Jaylen Brunson is this. Jaylen Brunson is on a pedestal to me. Jaylen Brunson is Simba being raised high, looking over his kingdom. That's Jaylen Brunson to me. I believe Jaylen Brunson is a top 3 player in the NBA. Period. This is my belief. Now, is it fandom speaking? Is it an irrational take? Is it an irrational thought process? Am I thinking about Jaylen Brunson in an irrational way? Maybe. But at least I'm telling you, I may be thinking about Jaylen Brunson in an irrational way. Now, with that said, when Jaylen Brunson makes a mistake, will I point it out? I wouldn't be myself. I'd rather be 100% Uncle Freezy 100% of the time than to acquiesce to others because I'm afraid of what they might think about me. I don't give a shit at all. Period. I just don't. Right? Because people that think that way, that care so much about what others think all the time, always have their feelings hurt. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Right? When I click the button to go away from here, I might go sit in the car and smoke a cigar or open a bottle of wine and eat something I bought off the internet and sit back and enjoy myself. Right? So when I tell you how I feel about Jaylen Brunson, it's me being as honest as I need to be. Right? Right? I'm being as honest forthright as I need to be to explain how I feel about Jaylen Brunson. Just so that people won't think that Jaylen Brunson is feeding me information behind the scenes and I have a relationship with the Brunsons. That's why I say certain things. No. I feel this way about Jaylen Brunson because I know what the world was like before Jaylen Brunson. And I see what the world is like with Jaylen Brunson. And there are two stark places. King Ember is in the building. Salute, my guy. I think Jaylen Brunson is irreplaceable for the Knicks, and it's because you can't plug any talented player in a role in New York City and expect their talent to over or outweigh all the stuff that comes with playing in New York. Eddie C, the basketball zombie, is in the building. Salute. So on the one hand, I ask, how good is Josh Hart? And we get mixed answers. How good is Josh Hart? We get mixed answers. And then I ask, how good is Jaylen Brunson? And we all get answers in the same ballpark. Here's my thing about Jaylen, though. For as good as Jaylen Brunson is with leadership, with consistency, with modeling the New York attitude, with sacrificing himself for the city, for all the things that he does great, right? I think his defense is terrible. And even when he gives max effort on defense, I think his defense is bad. And do I believe that Jaylen Brunson's defense affect the Knicks winning and losing on a nightly basis? And the answer to that is yes. Does Jaylen Brunson's bad defense affect the Knicks on a nightly basis on perimeter defense? Sadly, yes. It does. It affects the Knicks on a nightly basis. Jaylen Brunson's defense, Jaylen Brunson misses a rotation. Jaylen Brunson, say Jaylen Brunson is there for a rotation. He's still too short and too slow to defend dynamic wing players. Now, with that said, that's perimeter defense. That's one thing, right? Right? That's one thing. Like, is his defense affecting the Knicks' perimeter defense on a nightly basis? Absolutely, 100% yes. Because Jaylen Brunson's defense makes you use Bridges and OG and Deuce and others outside of what they do great to accommodate what Jaylen Brunson has as a deficit. The thing is, Knicks fans don't speak to this thing. We don't speak to Jaylen Brunson's deficiency, right? Because of all the other things that he does great. And he does, for the 100 things Jaylen Brunson does great, there are probably the 100 things Jaylen Brunson does, there are probably 3 things that are a disaster. But the other 97 things are superb. Right? The other 97 things are superb. Fantastic. You probably can't get any better. Right? The things that Jaylen Brunson has a deficit at. When guys work to get open, so is Jaylen Brunson dribbling with the basketball. When guys are working on offense to get open, so is Jaylen Brunson in the Brunson burner. If Jaylen Brunson doesn't know where he's going to go when he has the basketball in the Brunson burner, how do I know where to be in the offense? It's a tricky thing to figure out. Because if I work that hard to get open, don't get the ball, use all that energy on that offensive possession. There's a missed shot, and guys are sprinting the other way. Now I have to use the remaining energy to chase the ball down and play defense so that we can get the ball back so we can do the same thing all over again? Wait. So if I work that hard to get open on offense and don't get the ball, and then there's a missed shot, I have to chase down the ball, stop the ball, play defense, protect the rim, make them miss, come back down to so Jaylen Brunson and the offense can do the same thing. And then the people that don't watch the game, or people that watch the game and don't understand what they're seeing, they're going to say, well, OG Anunoby only had 8 points. That's my thing about Jaylen Brunson. Now, that's the defense and not incorporating other guys. Listen, I've probably been to 1,000 basketball camps. That's a lie. Nobody's been to 1,000 basketball camps. But over the last 35 years, I've probably been to 100 or so basketball camps by all level of guy, right? Local level coach, NBA coach. You know, you sit in the bleachers, they give you the t-shirt, they give you the little handbook or whatever. They bring you on the floor, they show you offense, they show you I've been to like hundreds of those, right? Or 100 or so of those. And what they teach is, when this happens, you do this. When this happens, you do that. It's the floor, it's the foundation, it's the basics of basketball. Right? When one guy drives the basketball to the rim, you get a certain distance and stay off his shoulder so that if he needs to kick the ball out, he'll have an outlet to kick the ball out. Not the Knicks, bro. Not the Knicks. Right? But for the 100 things Jaylen Brunson does, those 3 things that he cannot, I don't think he can fix those. These are things Jaylen Brunson has to live with, and we have to live with as well, right? Because he's not going to grow overnight. He's not going to become explosive vertically or in a straight line speed overnight. He can't fix those, right? That's just not going to happen, right? Right? But what that does is it creates a thing for others that have to compensate. But man, is he clutch. And man, is he a great leader. Man, is he a great scorer. I think he's taking 22 shots a game right now. And I'm mad that he's not taking 27 shots a game. Right? Just without dribbling the basketball all night. Right? Right? I would love to see Jaylen Brunson's taking about 21, 22 shots a game. I would love to see Jaylen Brunson taking 27 shots a game. Because I feel like in order for a team to be a championship level guy, you have to have an MVP candidate. And you've heard me say that before. You've heard me say this before. In order for the Knicks to win a championship, Jaylen Brunson or someone on this team, most likely Jaylen Brunson, has to be an MVP candidate. Has to be. Absolutely has to be an MVP candidate. So while I ask you how good is Jaylen Brunson, it all goes back to this. I believe Jaylen Brunson has MVP potential. I believe he has MVP potential. But what does that have to do with continuity? What the thing with continuity is, if you have a guy that you feel like you can boost into the MVP conversation, do you surround him with more talent or more continuity? And I believe the Knicks are looking to surround him with more continuity. Right? That's my belief. More continuity is what they're looking to do. Have all these players grow within the same system and then allow them to get better in this system so the overall product can be better. Here's my question to you guys, though. What systems are we running? That'll be a question for another day. That'll be a question for another day, right? Because that's a week-long conversation. What systems do we have in place? So here's my other question for y'all, right? And this is a good one. I've been stewing about this. and I want to get you guys' answer. There is no right or wrong answer to this. I'm not holding anyone accountable for this. This is me wanting to get like what you guys think. And by the way, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, spread the word, continue to grow this channel. I think we're growing at like maybe like 700 subscribers a month or something weird, right? Something crazy, right? But I'm looking at the big guys and I'm like, wow, they are leaving us in the dust. If you like them, then you like us, right? If you like them, then you like us also. Let me just put it that way, right? Because if you're new here, I'm certainly an original thinker. I don't like recycled topics, right? I like forcing the chat to think about what it is we're saying. I don't like blurting out the first thing that comes to mind. I don't think that helps the conversation. So if you like that type of stuff, if you like that Mad Dog and all them type, if you like that Stephen A. Smith type stuff, that ain't me. And this ain't for you, right? But if you like to be challenged and stimulated intellectually about stuff that you love, like the Knicks, I'm your guy. Because I'm going to think about what you say, and I may not even respond to it because sometimes we just need time to think. You may say something awesome and nobody responds because they need time to think. And that's the ultimate sign of respect. Right? There's nothing like watching two people yell stuff at each other and none of it makes sense. Cat is soft. I miss Julius Randle. So what? I think we all miss Randle. How is a guy that's grabbing you 12 rebounds a night in the NBA playing every night or mostly every night at 260 pounds soft? All right, so here's the question. What message would a mid-season trade send to the locker room and the fan base? And don't run from this question, right? Don't run from this question. Answer it. Right? What message would a mid-season trade send to Jaylen Brunson and them and to us? Tell me what you think. King Emmett throwing grenades in the chat. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. It says they're serious and they're trying to the goal is still a chip. Oh boy. I think this is a firecracker here, y'all. This is a firecracker here. I thought about this for a couple of days and I miss y'all too, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was in there like battling something. And I was thinking like, now what do I say to make LI1 mad as hell? Man, I thought about that. I thought about that for like 30 minutes. Like, I need to come up with something to make LI1 mad as hell. Yo. Yo, what can I say? I need to come up with something, man. I need to hire an assistant or something. I need an admin assistant or something. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like what can I do to make LI1 mad, man? I can't think of nothing right now. I was like scratching the baldy, like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, man. So what message would a midseason trade to send to the Knicks players, the locker room, and the fan base? And the locker room is the coaches, staff, and players and families, right? Like, what message does that send? Right? And to me, it depends on the level of trade, right? Because I feel like if the Knicks trade Karl-Anthony Towns at the deadline, right? And I know they're not, right? I know they're not, right? Cat is a Knick and he should retire a Knick, right? But if the Knicks trade Karl-Anthony Towns, the message that is sent to me, the way I receive the message is the Brunson family runs the organization. If Cat gets traded either at the deadline or anytime during his contract, the Brunson family runs the Knicks. And it gives me J.R. Smith, Chris Smith vibes. Right? Now, am I saying that's a bad thing? No, right? I'm not saying this either, because if the Brunsons run the Knicks, okay, there's still nothing I can do about it except run Lawrence Tears and all that stuff. Right? Right? The thing is if Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm just talking about a major piece, because it could be OG Anunoby, it could be any non-Nova boy, right? It could be Mitchell Robinson, it could be OG, it could be Cat. Any non-Nova person gets traded, it means the Brunsons run the Knicks. And it makes me feel cautious. Right? It makes me feel cautious. Like, oh boy, we might be entering a place where you have to do everything possible to keep Jaylen Brunson happy, even if it means not win championships. That's the one part of it. Right? That's the one part. If Jaylen Brunson, and I'm not saying Jaylen Brunson is going to push the button. I'm not saying that Jaylen Brunson is going to order the code red, right? I'm not going to say Jaylen Brunson is going to order the code red or be complicit with ordering the code red. What I'm saying is the message that is sent to me is that if you're not a Nova boy, you're gone. If you're not a Nova boy, you're gone. That's the message that I receive from that. Now, here's part 2 of that. Depending on who you get in a trade, right? Because you don't have to trade Cat for a superstar, or you don't have to trade OG for a superstar. You could trade OG for depth pieces, right? You could trade OG Anunoby to the Wizards or somewhere to get 3 guys to add to your rotation that upgrades the entire roster. Right? You don't, if you trade Cat or OG or Mitch or Clarkson or Yabusele, you don't have to get an upgrade in talent. You can get depth pieces. But the message that'll be sent to me is that if you're not in the Nova Boy fraternity, you on thin ice. There's an inner circle. That's the message that I get. Right? There's an Illuminati thing going on. There's an inner circle. Right? That's the sensation that I get. Now, here's the thing. Here's the second part of that message. In this Wizard of Oz scenario where we thought the Wicked Witch was the final boss, the Wicked Witch was not the final boss. Right? The Wicked Witch was not the final boss. For those that have seen it. And I saw a conspiracy theory dreamscape thing like the Wizard of Oz leads into the Matrix, which is odd. The Wizard of Oz leads into the Matrix, right? And this inner circle type thing, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing to follow up to that. So if you don't trade a non-Brunson player for depth pieces, then are you trading the non-Nova boys for a star? Right? Do you trade Cat and OG and Mitch to the Bucks for Giannis and a bunch of bad contracts? Right? So do you trade Cat and OG and Mitch to the Bucks for a bunch of bad contracts to help the Bucks speed up their rebuild? But if you do that on site, you know what the message is that's been sent to the locker room? Jaylen Brunson, your 3.5-year run as the man is over. This is no longer Brunsonville. If you trade for Giannis, this place that has been Brunsonville for 3.5 years is no longer Brunsonville. Right? Giannis is the talk of the town. Jaylen Brunson, you are no longer the toast of the town. Jaylen Brunson, you are no longer the toast of the town. You are a round of drinks on the town. Right? Y'all know a toast means everybody shut up and raise their glass. Right? One guy stands up front and says something like, may you make it to heaven before the gates close, or something like that. They'll say something like that. That's a toast, right? Everybody be quiet. Let me say something from Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? Right? But when Giannis gets here, Giannis, a top 15 player of all time, an MVP of the league, an NBA champion, one of the greatest players to ever don an NBA uniform, is not coming to New York to play second fiddle for Jaylen Brunson. And I love Jaylen Brunson. I love Jaylen Brunson, right? But you're not going to trade for a top 15 guy in his prime to come to New York to screen and rebound for Jaylen Brunson. You have got to be out your mind. You have got to be out of your mind. You have got to be out of your mind if you think Giannis is going to come to New York and share the spotlight with Jaylen Brunson. Who, and because here's the thing is, if I ask Giannis, hey, man, you top 15 all time, man, they comparing you to, you have accolades with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon, right? Are you going to share the spotlight with Jaylen Brunson? And Giannis may ask me, who the hell is Jaylen Brunson? Because while we value our star, do we overvalue? Is Jaylen Brunson right now as good as Giannis? Has Jaylen Brunson in his career, has he ever been as good as Giannis in one of Giannis's down years? The message that I receive if you trade for Giannis is, JB, listen, we gave you 3.5 years, bro. I mean, what else most guys would appreciate 3.5 years chasing the championship as the number one guy. But now that Giannis is here, just go take the ball out for Giannis and let Giannis bring the ball up the floor. Just get in where you fit in, bro. JB, listen, 3.5 years is a lot. Man, listen, we gave Randall about the same amount of time. We gave Randall similar time, bro. He didn't do it either. And guess what? Real King in the building. Salute. Vert in the building. Salute. My guy, Virtuoso. Listen, this is, and I love Jaylen Brunson. So to me, trading for Giannis is the apocalyptic scenario for Jaylen Brunson. You want to ruin Jaylen Brunson, go get Giannis. Because if you don't think Giannis will do Jaylen Brunson like he did Damian Lillard, you bugging. If you don't think Giannis will do Jaylen Brunson like he did Drew Holiday, y'all bugging. Damian Lillard, for the most part, has a more accomplished career than Jaylen Brunson. And it's no knock on JB because JB is entering his prime. But to date, JB doesn't have a Damian Lillard resume, right? He just doesn't. He started a little older. He really didn't get into his prime. He really didn't get to showcase his stuff until like his age 24, 25 age season. So he got out to a slower start than everyone else. So he doesn't have the cumulative stats like the others do. Like he's not an 8-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA like a lot of guys his age because he played 4 years of college and then there was like the 2 or 3 year window coming off the bench and no one knew he was this good until he got to the Knicks or whatever. Right now, but since he's been a Knick, he's been fantastic. Right. But all the years before that, working to this point, they're still on Jaylen Brunson's resume. Right. We can't, it's not fair to the conversation to not count that age, the age 19 to 24 for Jaylen Brunson, and then count the 19 to 24 for Damian Lillard. Because for the most part, from age 19 to whatever Damian Lillard was before his injury, he was a quality NBA starting point guard. And for a few years, one could argue that Damian Lillard was almost as good as Steph Curry. Almost. I believe Steph Curry is the GOAT, right? So I say almost. Right? But the message that's sent if you trade for Giannis, is not Giannis is coming to New York to help Brunson. The message is, JB, we tried this with you, bro, and y'all not showing that y'all could go. Y'all not showing that y'all can do it. You go get Giannis because Giannis is a proven megastar. You go get Giannis because Giannis is a proven megastar with about 3 or 4 great Giannis seasons left. And then you accompany that with putting the Greek Freak in a Mike Brown fast-paced up-tempo system. And Giannis might average 35 and 14. Giannis, with a full head of steam against defenses that are not set, might be 36 points a game, 14 rebounds in a Mike Brown system. So for the ones that dream about Giannis every day, hey, I understand what you see, right? I don't think y'all understand the repercussions, right? Like if I told everyone in this chat that, you know what, I'm going to drop a Ferrari off in your yard. All you have to do is just pay the insurance, right? Y'all be like, oh, shit, Uncle Freezy's giving out Ferraris. Until you realize how much it costs to insure a Ferrari in your name and how much the maintenance is for the upkeep of a Ferrari, right? How much one tire costs on a Ferrari. Right? And then at the gas pump, you can only buy a certain type of street legal gas. And then you realize, God, I have a Ferrari now, but God damn, this insurance payment is killing me. Like, legitimately, Giannis and his talents and all those things, right? Giannis and all those things come with things attached to it. Now, mind you, Giannis dunking all over the Celtics and Pistons in the playoffs, they can't stop Giannis, and we're cheering like, let's go! Meanwhile, Jaylen Brunson goes from 22 shots a game to 16 shots a game, maybe? Jaylen Brunson goes from the all-star starter every year to a guy that we hope makes the all-star team. Right? Guys that we love, like Josh Hart, who will still be here. The guy that grabs the rebounds and pushes the pace. He's not going to do that with Giannis here. Guess what Josh Hart becomes when Giannis gets here? A 6'4" guard. That's what Josh Hart becomes when Giannis gets here. Right? When Giannis gets here, all the stuff, all the Scrappy Doo stuff you see Josh Hart do, why would you have Scrappy Doo do it when you have Superman doing it? If you get Giannis, all the stuff that you saw Josh Hart do, all that's out the window. All that's out the window. All that Scrappy Doo stuff. Hey, I'm a little guy getting big. Yeah, we don't need Mighty Mouse doing that, bro. We're just gonna let Kal-El do it. We're gonna let Superman do it. We're gonna let Clark Kent do it. Why would we let Josh do these things when we have Giannis? Josh Hart's value is tied to doing these things that come easy to Giannis. The stuff that Josh does, Giannis does in the first half of a game. But Josh had 8 rebounds and 6 assists, man. Josh hit 2 threes, man. Giannis did that in the first quarter against the Detroit Pistons, bro. Right? Or even worse, do you play Josh and Giannis together in the same lineup? Because if Cat goes, if OG goes, your lineup will probably be Brunson, Bridges, Josh, Giannis, Mitch. Are you legit going to play Mitch, Giannis, and Josh in the same lineup? Building Blocks, thank you for being a member. He says, you're making the argument to trade for Giannis. No, listen. There's nothing we can do. If they trade for Giannis, what am I going to do? If they trade for Giannis, what's Building Blocks going to do? There's nothing we can do about it. If they trade for Giannis or not trade for Giannis, there's nothing we can do except root for the team. Right? There's nothing we can do except root for the team. But for those that think Giannis is going to be the pick and roll guy for if you think Giannis is going to screen so that Jaylen Brunson can take 11 footers all night, y'all crazy. Right? Right? If y'all legit think that Giannis is going to come here and screen all night or decoy all night like Cat does, so Jaylen Brunson can take 23 shots a game. Bugging. Now, here's the thing. Y'all know I'm a fan of Giannis. Also, adjacent. Like, I'm a fan of Giannis as an NBA player, as an all-time great, but I'm a Knicks fan. And I don't care what other players do in other cities in other uniforms. I'm a Knicks fan all night, all day, right? All night, all day, all year, all lifetime. I'm a Knicks fan. But if we legit think Giannis is going to come here and be second fiddle to Jaylen Brunson, we're bugging. Giannis is another large planet entering your solar system. That's just what it is. You're not going to bring a top 15 player of all time to your city to have him play. Listen, as much as I love Patrick Ewing, Giannis's resume is better than Patrick Ewing's resume. And Patrick Ewing is the greatest Knick of all time. I believe Patrick Ewing is the greatest center of all time. Right? But if you bring Giannis here, Giannis's resume dwarfs Pat Ewing's resume. And if we think he, entering his prime, is going to acquiesce to the Nova Boys, we are bugging. Then as soon as Giannis gets here, the Nova Boy thing is over. Period. Because Giannis is going to say something like, we need more shooting, right? And the next day, breaking news, the New York Knicks trade Mikal Bridges to the Orlando Magic for Desmond Bane. That's exactly how these things work. That's how these things work. Giannis gets here and Giannis says, hey, man, the paint is too crowded. I mean, I'm taking a beating down there, driving to the paint, right? Giannis going to be like, man, we don't have any spacing, man. I mean, we gotta do something. Breaking news. Breaking news. Josh Hart has been traded to such and such team, the Sacramento Kings, for Sabonis. Right? That's just how these things work. Right? Now, whether the Knicks trade for Giannis or whether they don't, whichever one you like, things are what they are, right? There's nothing we can do about it. Right? There's nothing that we can legit do. If the front office decides to make that decision, they decide to make that decision. Right? But what I want to say to you is that no move goes without consequence. To summarize, no move goes without consequence. Period. If the Knicks decide to go get Giannis, I'll be the biggest Giannis supporter in the world as long as he's a Knick. If he's a Buck, I don't care. But if he's a Knick, that's my guy. Right? Right? That's how I feel about it. Dudes in other jerseys, I could care less. I care about the Knicks. That's where I am with it. I'm not gonna be begging another player of another team to come here and save the Knicks. That's not my MO. My MO is Knicks all day. New York versus everyone. Right? And I'll go down on that ship, right? That's just how I feel personally. Right? So what message would a midseason trade send? Little trade, this is Brunsonville, right? Big trade. What's the term when people move into a neighborhood and take over and make it in their image? Y'all, what's the term where a neighborhood is super cool and then people come in and then they change the neighborhood to whatever they want and start renaming stuff. What do you call that? I want to call it Giannising, but that's not the that's not the term for it. Yeah, the term for like a neighborhood might be called Fort Greene for a long time, and then people come in and change the neighborhood up, and then they change it. They change the name from like Fort Greene to like Dumbo or something. I don't know. Yeah. See, Cartagena, gentrification. Yeah. If you trade for Giannis, if the Knicks trade for Giannis and Jaylen Brunson and the Nova Boys are still here, you can bet the Knicks are going to get gentrified. Instead of it being Brunsonville, it'll be Giannisville. It'll be Giannisville, right? And as a Knicks fan, are you ready for that? I don't know if I'm ready for the thought of that, but if it happens, I'm ready for the practice and action of it. Right? I don't want to think about the Knicks being gentrified by a Giannis trade, but if it happens, I have to deal with it. Right? I have to deal with the new stuff that comes along with the acquisition of talent. And you guys will as well. And we can live, and we can. Yo, the chat is crazy. The chat's crazy. Yo, the chat is wild, man. Y'all wild, man. Yo, the chat is wild, man. But yeah, if the Knicks do a midseason trade, it's going to send a message, right? Like if you're not in Brunsonville, if you're not in that golden circle, right? Then anybody can be moved. Now politics are involved, right? Yo! Yo, yeah. Yo, y'all are wildin'. Y'all are wildin', bro. Yeah. Y'all are wildin', bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But that's the thing I want you guys to think about. Like, what message would a midseason trade send? Right? Because the thing is you do the trade, but every decision in life has repercussions. Yo, anybody in the chat deal with people that make decisions that are impulse decisions, and then you have to deal with the repercussions after? Like any of y'all have friends that say go out and get the new Jordan as soon as they drop, and then like 3 days later, as soon as you pick up the phone, they be like, yo, send me $20. Send you $20? Any of y'all got friends like that? Any of y'all got like this? Yo, Uncle Freezy, man. Yo, you remember that baddie from the movies, bro? Oh yeah, she was a baddie, bro. Yo, I spent $1,400 on her this weekend, bro. Send me $50. $50? Is you crazy? Anybody in the chat, any real live people in the chat that's like, yo, your best friend took a baddie to the beach this weekend and spent $1,400. Spent $1,400, and he sent you the text, yo, I gotta holler at you. And you're like, and then you see the name on the phone, you pick it up because it's your man. When your man calls, you gotta pick it up. There is no option to not pick up the phone when your man's call. If you see it, you gotta swipe the button, right? So as soon as you see it, you're like, yo, you remember that baddie? Yeah, I just spent $1,400 on her at the beach, bro. Oh yeah? And then your man's is like, yo, let me buy $50. $50? Or yeah, or your man's be like, yo, I got something for you, and he send you the meme of the little girl, but like, give me $50. That, like, you just see the text and say, give me $50. And you're like, oh, this dude done spent his whole check on a broad and now don't have any money. Right? $50, man. What the $50? And then you just cash app him the $50, and he'd be like, yo, I got you next week. And you like, any of y'all ever did? Your man like, yo, bet, I promise you, bro, I got you next week. And next week turned into 7 years. Yo, hey, I see you. Hey, man. Hey, Twin IX Sports, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for becoming a member. We got some new stuff coming your way. We're going to realign the wrenches. We're going to do more content. I'm going to do a members only show in the morning with totally separate, totally brand new content, right? So on the members only show, I'm promising to do total new outlook and stuff. So on some shows, if I'm on Space Mountain, it's because I'm trying to do the very best for the members, right? Right. So, yeah, man. Thank you to all the members and everybody that support. Really appreciate y'all, the way that y'all been supporting the channel over the last handful of years, helping us grow. I noticed the big guys don't say our name, but they know we here, right? The big guys don't say our name, but they know we here. They know we here, right? Right. Hey, Virtuoso says, are you gonna do a live watch along tomorrow for Knicks versus the Knicks play the Pistons tomorrow? I thought the Knicks play the Sixers tomorrow, bro. I thought the Knicks play hold on. Yeah, the Knicks are in Philadelphia tomorrow. And Cat is questionable too, by the way. Cat is questionable. Salute to ES Greeny in the building. Renewing the membership, man. Salute to y'all, man. Members, like, we got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, man. It's wearing your man's out, right? Like, all this work on the channel behind the scenes, man, is kind of like wearing your man's out. That's why sometimes, man, I just can't make it, bro, because we do so much stuff. You know, we don't have, like, you know, me and Alawaz and others are working on trying to get this more 24/7. So just bear with us over the next 18 months or so. We're trying to do some stuff, right? But I got one last topic I want to talk about, right? Just one other thing. Do the Knicks need a trade or a philosophical shift? Do the Knicks need a trade or a philosophical shift? I'm just waiting for the chat to put their answer in the chat. I already have my answer. Y'all already know what my answer is. But this question is for y'all, not for me. This question is for y'all, not for me. I want to talk to you about this. I have a precept already. It's ingrained, right? But I don't want to have my precept ruin the conversation, because if I can learn something new, I'm going to learn something new. Right? I'm not going to be y'all know the person that have the wrong answer and will stick by the wrong answer because they want to appear to be right. I don't care. If I think a certain way and you make me smarter, guess what I'm going to choose to do? Am I going to choose to be wrong as hell, or am I going to choose to be smarter? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Do the Knicks need a trade or a philosophical shift? Yo, LI1 said the new He-Man movie. Bro, I live trying to be He-Man, bro. I live my life trying to be He-Man. Right? I live my life trying to be He-Man, bro. Stupid grunting in the weight room. Eating right. Right? Right now, I have on compression socks in here looking like Kobe Bryant. I'm in here looking. I got on compression socks right now, man. Trying to get my deadlift up, man. I'm trying to get bad. I live my life trying to be He-Man, bro. All right. So since y'all say both, since the answer is both, do the Knicks need a trade or a philosophical shift? I'm gonna save this question for a later time. Then, right? I'll save that for a later time. Right? Because I have a precept about one, but I want to explore the other, and so I want to do that when I get more time. So everybody, listen, I want to thank everybody for coming through and rocking. I'm going to wrap right here. Mets fans, if you enjoyed this show, in about 30 or 40 minutes, I'm going to go live for a little bit and talk Mets. Right? So Mets fans, if baseball fans, Mets fans, sports fans, Uncle Freezy fans, Lawrence Tears family fans, if you enjoyed this show, hit the thumbs up and keep an eye out for the New York Mets Lounge that will probably jumping off in about 30 or 40 minutes, because I need time to do the thumbnail and get my points and everything ready before the show starts. So get ready to jump on over there, because I have a story to tell. Thank you to everybody in the chat that came through and hung out. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all had the chat on fire as usual. Thank y'all for supporting and being a part of one of the biggest movements in Knicks universe. We're the little guy. We're trying to grow. We'll get there one day. And y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. All right? Spread the word. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard master.